All right. Whatever it is you're joining me from or you're listening to this broadcast from, I want to first of all state clearly that I don't feel happy, coming out at people and, you know, being the guy well, some people say I'm controversial. There's a new word in town. They say I'm shaking the table. But you see, somebody's got to do it. My mom used to say this to me that if you're too afraid to do what is needed to be done, you should not be the first person in line to receive the reward when eventually somebody is bold enough to do it and rewards begins to come forth. I'm not expecting everybody to be as crazy as I am, but I think that we've stayed quiet for too long. I always ask myself, how do we fix Nigeria? And I realized that it's not about talking about election every 4 years. Nigeria will not get fixed that way. I think that if every man is able to articulate ideas and push it clearly with a clear objective in their own sphere of influence, let's take, for instance, people who have strong influence in the medical field do what is needed to be done. Those who have strong influence in power do what is needed to be done. Gradually, collectively, the little piece that we all put together will make the whole sum complete. But then, if we don't put our effort in the areas where we're strong in our spheres of influence, we just might not be able to do well. And I've always said that, okay, Odo Daniel, I say thank you for your prediction. I want today, congratulations to you. But today, this broadcast is not focused on prediction. It's focused on the enemies of Nigerian football. And today, I want to give a general overview because this is going to be a constant thing. If you want to be part of it, just be part of it. Drop your comment, talk, say, let's open our mouths and talk. Let's join the conversation. If you're on Twitter, you have anything to say, just use the hashtag enemies of Nigerian football. It's just one word, hashtag enemies of Nigerian football. It's important because embedded in that football is billions of naira. Earlier today, I went for the La Liga Nigeria activation, where the media, a lot of media people came together, and the La Liga people, Javier and the rest of them came from Spain, and they were breaking down, the power of La Liga and all that. And the first thing that crossed my mind, I mean, they are doing their business, they are selling their brand, which is good. The first thing that crossed my mind, they said that La Liga have that kind of office. What they are doing in Nigeria, they have that kind of office in 54 countries all over the world. And the first thing that crossed my mind is, does the Nigerian League have an office in Benin Republic, in Cotonou, in Ghana, and the rest of them? Obviously, the answer is no. Your guess is as good as mine. And when you look at the Nigerian League, you see players living like they are beggars. As a matter of fact, they are beggars because even the people who run the football make them look like that. Yeah, our club administrators come out and say we're using football to empower youth. We're using football to take youths out of the streets. So invariably what it means that the Nigerian youths actually are homeless. That is what it means. Nigerian youths are on the streets. Nigerian youths are jobless. Nigerian youth do not have talent. This football is just to take them out of the streets, and some will tell you that they feed them twice a day. But having said that, let's even get past that mediocre line of thinking, that parochial, senseless way of thinking, and let's draw up a few things and look at it carefully. You see, football in itself, as important as it is a catalyst. Now, by catalyst is the thing that causes other chemicals to react. So football is a catalyst. That's why in Spain, in England, in Germany, in America, sports, and in other countries, France, it is a culture. It is more than just a game. It is a way of life. When Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid play, you're not just talking of 90 minutes of football. You're talking about a whole day, a whole week of planning, road traffic, the network, the sales. As a matter of fact, the value of that one single game that was played earlier today for 90 minutes is valued at the cost. The total cost of that one single game is valued at 364 million euros. That's the value of that one game. So by breaking it down, it tells you the value in broadcast rights of that one single game, the value in sales of commodities like water, like drink, tea, beer, liquor, and a whole lot of others, memorabilia that goes around that one single game. And then the question here is, how come is it that in Nigeria we don't have that? When you consider the population of Spain compared to Nigeria, Spain is just like three states in Nigeria put together. But Nigeria, we have 180 million people. All that football needs, even though football is the only sport and then the others in Nigeria, all that football actually needs is, say, 20 million of that. But for a starter, you can't get 20 million. For a starter, let's say just 2 million people are addicted to football, are caught in the culture of football in Nigeria, and they are direct investors in the game. Do you know the ripple effect that will make in the economy? It means that every stadium where they play football matches in Nigeria, within the stadium and around the stadium, the economy of that area will be filled if we get it right in terms of organization. And what does that do? It creates employment. Football will create employment for the graphic designer. Football will create employment for media people. Football will create employment for people who are into hospitality, into logistics as in transportation. Football will create employment for people who do a whole lot of activities, entertainment activities around football stadiums. And not just that, because we are having maybe a full house in every game that is played across this country, it means that traffic management would increase, and that means that more workers will be employed. And that would also help ensure, what we do in Nigeria. But, Kenechukwu Nemeka say, I want those books on the shelf, please. I don't give out books. My books are my prize possession. I buy them from Amazon, from the UK, US, and every time I travel, the first thing I do at the airport is to look for a bookshop. So I think it's something that you can do. I mean, there's a whole lot there. There's another shelf on the other side, and then there's a shelf in my room. But I don't give out my books. That's one thing I don't give out. So Keneshiko, I'm sorry. I could give you these t-shirts. I could give you my car if I have another one. Books? No, you're not giving nobody my books. But let's come back to the conversation. So if you come from a state that have a football club, and this is a clarion call, this is a call to action. People will hate me for it right now, but we'll talk later. If you come from a state, stop singing praises of your club chairman when they are not doing anything. We should stop singing praises of people when they are giving 1% of 100%. Enyimba is the biggest club in Nigeria. As we speak today, Enyimba does not have a clubhouse. Let me tell you something shocking. Last year, when this deal with the La Liga was signed, La Liga, out of their own magnanimity, wanting to make the first move, decided, you know what, let us help a club in Nigeria. So there's something called the La Liga Foundation. That is the foundation that donates to any charity of their choice. And they said, okay, Academy Warriors are playing in a war-torn zone, a place that has been ravaged by Boko Haram and all the crisis in the northern part of Nigeria. They decided, you know what, we'll give Academy 54,000 euro. In case you don't understand what I'm saying, they said they would give Academy Warriors 54,000 euros as not a loan, not borrow, just a sign of goodwill. Goodwill gesture, like, okay, for surviving that region, we'll give you 54,000 euro. And you know that 1 euro is 441. Okay, so 54,000 euro would amount to 23 million naira. Yes, 54,000 euro amounts to 23,865,516 naira. That's the money that the La Liga was going to give to Academy Warriors. Now, as a corporate business, you have to do things in the corporate ways. So what they ask for is,
okay, whoever is going to come collect this money on behalf of enemy warriors should show certificate of incorporation, should show proof that they are paying taxes to government, and they are a registered football club, a registered company that is running the football club. Do you know that that money, economic warriors could not go collect the money? You know why? Because they could not bring paperwork that showed that they are a registered company in Nigeria. So 23 million that would have gone into helping in alleviating and paying player salaries or match bonuses was lost. And you know how companies are run. You know, by the time it gets to 1 year, nothing happened. The year ended, La Liga people return their budget. That's how it works. That money was lost. And so many other things that happen in Nigerian football. Take, for instance, clubs will sell players and the club will get the lesser percentage of the sales. A very good example is the sale of Stephen Ode for MFN. For instance, 124 million was what they sold him for. That's $350,000. Guess what? It was only 30% of that money that got to MFN. Not even all of the 30%. Somebody has got 70% of that money. You follow clubs in Europe. Have you ever heard that such kind of transfer happened in Europe? Have you ever heard that such kind of transfer happened in South America, in Asia, in any Oceania, in any part of the world? Why does it happen in Nigeria? And you know what? People who are perpetrating these things are not being called to books. They are even hero worshipped. We even look, some people even look at them and call them names, positive names, praise them to the high heavens. Is that how we're going to run? If you think that the politicians are corrupt, if you think that the politicians are making us dry, these same people who you hero worship every day, they are doing the same thing. They are just as bad as the politicians. You look at them, you listen to them on radio, watch them on TV, and you think that they're doing well. They are horrible people. The World Cup is just a few days away, a few weeks away, or a few months away. Anywhere in the world, quote me on this, at least I've been to 51 countries and back. So anywhere in the world, club chairman or club president or club administrators travel to go watch international games on their own bill or club private jet and the rest. But you see, the NFF went out of their way to go look for sponsors that would enable them get money to pay for coaches, players, bonuses, and allowances, and the rest. But, excuse me, wait for it. During the World Cup, this is what is going to happen. Amaju Pinnick and the NFF board will be twisted by these club administrators to put them on a plane, on the bill of the NFF, and go to the World Cup to go and do jamboree. Some of them will even carry their girlfriend on the bill of the NFF. They will go there, go have fun, do jamboree, cause distraction, make sure that they make noise in the players' ear and let the players lose focus, and they will get beaten, and then they will come back and start talking about the next election. We will not vote for you because you did not give us food to eat. We will not do this, we will not do that. That is not the business. The LMC tried as an infancy club league management organization in the world. They tried their best. They signed a partnership with the La Liga, and they pushed again, pushed a few buttons, and La Liga agreed. And all expense paid for the MPFL All-Star team to go play friendly matches against some top teams. Ask yourself, how come that deal has not earned any club anything since? How come any club have not taken the initiative to plug into that opportunity? Recently, Rivers United went to Spain to go for a friendly match. And La Liga also helped in facilitating that friendly, and everything went well. But as I speak with you, there is nothing in it that comes back to say, okay, this is what we have done with it. There's nobody that have said, okay, let us send our junior players in secondment to the La Liga juniors teams. Let them go and get, this underage, this under 12, under 15 players. Let them go and get 1 year or 2 years experience playing there, getting proper training, even if you're not playing matches. After 1 year, they come back and improve the quality of play of our league. and then after again they go back. Maybe this time around they are transferred. We've not seen that. Why? Now we must start asking questions. Do I like the EPL? I love the EPL. Do I like the German Bundesliga? I love the German. I love success. So anything that they do anywhere in the world that is successful, I like it. I love the German Bundesliga. I've always been a fan of the CIA since forever. I'm a lover of AC Milan. I've loved the La Liga since forever. I believe that the La Liga is the best league in the world. But with all those love comes my pain. You understand me? Why can't we replicate it at home? What is the strength of American sports? The strength of American sports is their population, over 250 million people. That's why America does not show interest in selling their sports franchise to anybody outside America. They believe that they have enough numbers to do it. So if we have the same numbers, how come we can't push for the success of our own? How come people cannot collectively come together and say, you know what, we want to buy a club, we want to make a club community owned, or let's even start a club from the grassroots, from scratch, community owned, yes, and then raise it up to that level where we run it. The truth is, if only me, for instance, now decide I want to run a football club, I'm going to spend billions and nothing will come out of it. But if 200 friends, 200 people are able to build a network and expand the network to, let's say we have 5,000 people in that network. I mean, some of you do network marketing. Some people are on Facebook. Before 2-3 years, they have 5,000 people following them. All these people chat. You're on Twitter. You make friends. Before you know, your friends, your followers have grown. Now convert that to money. Monetize that friendship. That's what I'm saying. Monetize that friendship. Monetize that network to a point where you have, let's say you just have 2,000 people. Let's play with a few numbers. Let's play with a few numbers today so that you guys would understand where I'm coming from. So I don't come across to you as an alien, you know, a guy who just loves to talk. But let's play with a few numbers today and see where those numbers will lead us to. Jason number 12, I see you. But I'm going to come. Okay, let me just read. Jason, you say, who got 70%? Perhaps the reason the coach is handicapped. You make a sale and can't buy a quality player for the international game. Sad. The problem is clear. The wrong people are on the seat. Yes, that question he just asked. That's Kingsley Jali, one of the most prolific sports writer. One of the most prolific writer. He's not a sports writer. One of the most prolific writer. I don't want to use the word sports to limit his prowess. He's a fantastic writer. If you read his work on Facebook and if you go to Jason number 12 page, I mean, this guy is creative. He's creatively insane. Not in a negative way anyway. But I think you should check him out and see for yourself what I'm saying. But let's play with some numbers. Let's play with some numbers as it relates to Nigerian football. Let's say you're able to gather 5,000 of your friends and you say, you know what, 5,000 of your friends, let's start with a annual membership of, say, each person pays, let's make it 5,000. I belong to an all-starting membership to join for registration is 150,000. Annually, you now subscribe with 100,000 naira. So join the Rotary Club, 50,000, 60,000, 80,000, 2,000. If you live in Lagos, if you understand what I'm saying. So follow my flow in this a bit and say 5,000 people join, put annual subscription to this project. You know what you'll get? 25 million naira. 25 million naira means that they own the club. This money, you know, you go set up a community trust, you register it, and then these people that are plugging, this money would only be used to invest in the team. Now, the beginning is going to be rough. So let's say you start at state league level and you start preaching the gospel. What people want is a culture. What people want is something that they feel they belong to. You understand me? So every time you perform some community service, you go to schools around your neighborhood where you're training, you wear, this is Elegant TV t-shirt, for instance, you get a t-shirt for all of the players, you go to schools in your community, you clean up the school, because you have to render service for people to put their money in your pockets, okay? You look at drainage that are blocked, you call your players and then you call some of your fans, you clear the drainage. Gradually, you're going to be ingraining yourself into the hearts of the people. And if you do that, you will create a culture. Now, if you put a call to action out there and ask people to come contribute to the growth of that club, one, because of what you were doing for them in the community, they would always want to support you. And to get 5,000 people in the community to support you will be easy if they know that 5,000 naira means that they're paying that money for 1 year. Now, 25 million naira is what you will get if 5,000 people subscribe with 5,000 naira. You and I know that 25 million naira is not enough to run a professional football club for 3 games, but you've already had 5,000 people. Now, you will still be preaching and seeking more members. Yeah, you still be seeking more members because your goal is to get 100,000 people. Yes, that's your goal. Your goal is to get 100,000 people, but you can't get to 100,000 people if you cannot produce 10,000 people. So let's do the numbers again with 10,000 people as before, and they're still subscribing with the same 5,000 naira. I guess you already know the math right now. It's 50 million. There's no magic about it. It's 50 million, and 50 million from 10,000 people that are subscribed to it. And you know the good thing, let me tell you, when you have a club like that and you are on social media, you're on social media, you are working very well, you create, I'm broadcasting to you from my house. I used to think that to broadcast, you have to go to a radio station, you have to set up. It's parts like that. With a smartphone, you can broadcast to anybody anywhere in the world. This is the internet. So if I create a coach, some of you follow me, some of you even know my children's name, but you've not met us ever. We might not meet for the next for eternity. But some of you know my kids very well. Some people meet me and say, "Hi, it's Michelle. Hi, it's Michael." I'm like, I don't know you. Say you don't know me, but I follow you on social media. That's the way it works. You understand me? So why is it that our clubs are not making use of this? And then you and I, who have the opportunity to make something out of this industry, we're just standing on the side, acting like I'm not consigning me, I'm just facing on my job. But you know the funny thing, you have friends that you hang out with in the weekend that spend close to hundreds of thousands in beer. I'm not saying it's wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong. But you are diehard lovers of sports club. You buy Arsenal jersey, you buy Manchester United jersey. Let me read what my brother said. Jersey number 12 football show. He said these people don't want to build a community because they don't want to be transparent or answerable to people. Jersey number 12 again went on to say MFFC, Imba, etc. as never. Now that's the point. The evil people would not just give up evil because some good people are grumbling on the side. Evil people would hold on to whatever it is they are holding on to for as long as all what you can do is just complain and grumble on the side. They would stop holding on to that thing when you start exposing them, when you start looking at them in the eyes and telling them that you're not interested in what they're doing. That's when. Or you create an alternative. One of the best ways to eliminate evil is to create an alternative. And I think it's about time. It's about time a group of people come together. If you can get 20,000 people on a 5,000 naira yearly subscription, then it's good. It's a GoFundMe thing, a proper website. There are people out there. The funny thing is, you have people out there who will be part of, would also be expert in the website that will not hijacked. If 20,000 people key into the project, you already have 100 million naira. Now think about these numbers a little bit. Just 20,000 people, you have 100 million naira. 100 million naira means that you can play with anything, you can go as far, and then you can go to Nike and tell Nike that I have 20,000 people. These are the numbers. These are the evidence that I have 20,000 people because this club is community funded, it's community run, and with 20,000 people, we can guarantee you that 10,000 of those 20,000 will buy our jersey if you can give us at a subsidized rate, if not the whole 20,000. I tell you, Nike will brand whatever stadium you choose. If you run that community initiative for, say, another 5 years, that number would have grown. And you could also say that if you want to become a platinum or premium membership, for instance, that means that when you pay that 5,000, it doesn't only go into running the club. It will give you We'll send you wherever you are. We'll send you a jersey. You make a deal with your kit manufacturer so much so that they can send jersey to anybody anywhere in the world, because you cannot say you want to restrict it to Nigerians that are only in Nigeria. You soon start the project, and if it is running very well, if there is efficiency, and the only way to show efficiency is one, transparency. To be able to tell the people who are running your club, this is what we realize this year. We realized 25 million this year. This is how we spent it. We even had to borrow money. And as that money is coming in, you're creating a very good record with your bank. It means that you can even borrow against the one that is coming in case you have an emergency. One thing you will do, you will avoid trying to qualify for Continental when you don't already have the numbers to fund it, so that you don't go and spoil the image of your team. And then you would employ players that you can pay as at when due, and negotiate very right with them. Once these players know that, okay, not the government to give us money, this is how this money is coming, this is what we have, but we just want to give you an opportunity to play football. And then with things like this La Liga partnership, before you know it, you tie up a partnership with clubs in Europe, football would grow. What do people need? I mean, I interface with people every day. What do people need to follow a club? I guess people have been watching my broadcast since it started. It's a 30 minutes broadcast. It started around 11:30 in the night. That somebody is still out there watching my broadcast tells you that people are interested in the conversation. People are interested. So if you set up a club and maybe 3 times a week, there is a club broadcast where the players and the coaches come, sit in front of a camera, and they're talking to the fans. The fans are asking questions. They're suggesting, we needed to do this, we needed to do that. There's a player I discovered in Bombashaw that I think the club should give a chance. And the coach says, okay, send the player across. Let's give the player a try. Don't you know that we would already have started making impact within our community, within our environment? And before you know it, we would be changing our world without having to fight anybody or quarrel with anybody. I think that this is a clarion call. I'm going to be having this broadcast on a regular basis. We're going to be talking about a whole lot of things, and sometimes it's going to be done in the afternoon. I think I would need a few other people. If you are interested in being part of the broadcast, like you want to come, pay me a visit in my house, we'll sit down and talk. If you have an idea, it's not a comedy show. If you have an idea that would make a club run very well, some people say package it and send it as a proposal. No. Let's put it here. They can access it anytime. They can watch it anytime. If you send it as a proposal, some of them will not even read it. That's just the truth. But this is just, if you notice, I've not dealt with too much. This is just the surface. This is me just surfing through the surface. We will articulate our ideas. I will still be tweeting. I will still be fighting on all fronts. We will articulate our ideas. We will not let some charlatans run our football and destroy an industry that is worth billions, that can improve our GDP, that can improve the lives of people, that can make more money, foreign exchange coming to this country and roll into the economy rather than go into private pockets that cannot be accounted for. We would stand up for transparency, we'll stand up for justice, we'll stand up for equity, we'll stand up for, I'm beginning to sound like a politician, right? We'll stand up for its financial integrity in our football, because it is only when our football grows that all the other things that are tied to the growth of football can grow. TDJ put it this way in one of his sermons. He said that if Abraham did not grow, the nation of Israel would not have been recognized, would not have existed. If Abraham did not listen and follow the voice of God, the nation of Israel would not have existed. So if our football does not grow, it's just like the way electricity is killing a lot of business in Nigeria. If electricity, sustainable electricity is not in this country, many dreams would die. The same way, if our football does not grow and grow at the very right rate, with the right people there, with you getting involved, training yourself, preparing yourself, and sharing your knowledge for football to grow, if we don't do it, our football will die. And not only that, all the other businesses that are supposed to be around the football has to grow, because football is a catalyst to their own growth, will not even come out in the first place. I just wanted to thank you to everybody who spent time to watch, listen, and to Odo Daniel, Kenechukwu Nameka, and just number 2 football show for joining on this broadcast. Let's do it again tomorrow. Tomorrow, I think that's it was supposed to be 12 o'clock, but it's going to be 10 because I've got a few commitments in the morning. There's going to be another broadcast tomorrow by 12 noon. I think I should be home by 12 noon, and we'll touch base on a lot of other matters. But for those of you who watch now and those who will be watching it later, Thank you very much for your time. My name remains Idafi Matthew Esogene. Bye.